for the crowd member. And it looks like Big Tricks Skiddo is coming in.
Bit of a switcheroo in the penalty box there. Looks like the may have had a successful official review here, and the jammer for Townsvillians has been released from the box.
Yep, and been replaced by one of the blockers here. So we have two jammers lining up now. We have Smash Dance.
Yeah, up against Swish Caraboom. I think this may be Smash Dance's first jam for the Townsvillians today.
That's right, and Caraboom is seems to be just swapping it around with
Mad Millerina and Giles,
that's it. They
predominant jammers out there.
Yeah, they just seem to be taking it in turns at this point.
Yeah, Anaconda doing her share as well, but no shortage of quality jammers for VRDL.
And Rowan DeBoat has just come over, just let everyone know exactly what's going on, and looks like we're ready to get going. And here we go. Oh.
Well, too easy that time for Swish Caraboom around the outside.
That was just unbelievable.
But Smash Dance also through, so we'll probably see a 4 and call it here from Swish Caraboom. And there it is, indeed. Swish Caraboom gets through, calls the 4, and looks like...
Yeah, she may have hit her shoulder or maybe a bit of a dead arm at this point.
Yeah, maybe took one into the meat of the arm there. And
she was certainly nursing maybe her right hand. It looks like her right hand or right wrist may have come in for a bit of attention as well. So we might just keep an eye on that as she comes over to her bench and has a word with one of her trainers there. Maybe
calling for the ice, I think.
Yeah, maybe she seems to have been rubbing the right forearm there.
Well, Giles jamming here and picks up lead jammer. D-Delicious jamming as well for Townsvillians. Unable to get through as yet.
Big Trick Skidoo coming back off the bench, so the bench is clear. All skaters are on the track. Doesn't seem to make much difference at this point, as Giles just seems to not even be troubled. Skates around for another 5 points.
Once again, VRDL just in defence mode.
D-Delicious is probably the tallest player out there at the moment. She's it's interesting tactically to try and put a tall out there as your jammer, see if that helps things along.
Yeah, I think they've gone for trying to get their strong jammer out there and maybe barrel her way through the pack, but it hasn't worked as yet. And Giles gets through for another 5 points.
And D-Delicious was pushed out of play, so she had to make her way back to the start there. Got to be careful as a tall player to watch your use of arms. One of the Murder City newbies this year in the fresh meet is extraordinarily tall. On skate, she stands about 6'2", and she is always getting called for high blocks because she's, very naturally you use your forearms to maintain balance. And D-Delicious has come in after, looks like she did a star pass.
Yeah, we managed to miss that star pass, only just on the helmet of the former pivot there.
Yep, D-Delicious and the pivot there have exchanged thumbs up and smiles, so D-Delicious has managed to obtain a penalty, but not incurred the wrath of the power jam as a result. So we've got Messiah coming out as the jammer now. And we are at half-time, so that is all for the first half. Well, Mike, man, score-wise it's not proving to be quite as exciting as we hoped, but we are seeing some interesting things going on.
Absolutely, some absolutely amazing skating. I think you've just got to sit back and appreciate what Victorian Roller Derby League can do out there, and as a fan of the game, just really take in the skill level that we're seeing out there, and it's quite phenomenal, really.
And certainly when it comes to this evening, and certainly on Monday, when things are really going to heat up in the finals, some of these teams, you see them work so effortlessly out here. They're going to come across some teams that are really good at defence. How are they going to respond to this sort of thing?
Well, that's right. I mean, that's when their jammers are really going to earn their money out there, and we'll see them made to work a lot harder than they are now.
And
with what we're seeing. We're seeing the pack work brilliantly together though, and work out that defence, and that's only going to do them great. I can't even speak anymore. It's only going to do great things for them in the subsequent rounds. Look, we'll be back in about 8 minutes' time with the second half here. Go grab yourselves a drink. Grab yourself some Haig's chocolate if you got some handy, another one of our great sponsors. And we'll be back with you in about 8 minutes' time.
No worries. And we're back in sunny Adelaide at the Wayville Showgrounds for the second half of this clash between Victoria Roller Derby and the Townsvillians. Mike Mann, how was your break?
It was good. I saw some sights, went on a couple of rides at the showgrounds.
You're the biggest liar ever. We just sat here and just had a chat with a couple of our fellow commentators. But you know, it has been very impressive so far. From if you're a fan of Victorian Roller Derby, it's just been amazing just watching them put the moves on.
Well, it is. It is a bit like being on a ride. In some ways, it's that thrilling right now to watch these skaters in action. We were just talking about the some of the moves on these jammers from Victoria, Mad Melorina and Giles in particular. Just getting through that pack like just so easily and just slithering through. Untouched on so many occasions. It's just incredible to watch.
And hopefully Swish Gaboom's okay. I saw that she had a bit of ice strapped to her shoulder during the break there, so it looks like it isn't too serious at this point, and hopefully she'll be back out to do some more jamming.
Yeah, we'll see. Swish Caraboom, one of the main jammers for VRDL, so it'll be interesting to see tactically with the tournament still going for 2 more days after this, whether or not they'll rest her now. You'd probably think it's fair to say that they don't necessarily need her out there for this second half, for this 20 minutes. So tactically speaking, if I were on bench managing right now, I'd probably be resting her.
And the Victorians won't be skating again till this evening, so there's not much point trying to keep warm at this point. So yeah, it might just be better just to let her have a break.
Yeah, keep the ice on it, get some attention afterwards. They've probably got a team masseuse with them, I imagine. As the top teams do these days, so you know it's a serious sport these days. Travelling with physios and masseuses and all sorts of things. It's not quite the big professional leagues where you have like a whole team of an entourage, as it were, following you around. But it's starting to get up there. Certainly, I know the Adelaide Roller Derby have a couple of physios that help them out. So. And I think they're on hand here as well, just in general, to help anyone who needs a bit of physiotherapy. So it's very good of them to have come along. That's good to know, because I did hurt my back playing squash the other night, so I might visit the physio myself. You're a weak man, Mike. You're a weak man. Says I, who does absolute no physical fitness training at all. Well, we're going to see Jewel Breaker here, jamming here for the Townsvillians and Mad Mel Arena for Victorian Roller Derby League. D Delicious starting in the penalty area. Well, Mad Mel Arena is through as lead jammer, but goes out of play into the middle of the track and has to come back. Doesn't slow her up too much. She's back around now, looking to complete a scoring pass. Yep, manages to elude one of the jammers there as she tried to get around there. So, sorry, the blockers, I should say. I'm still learning all this. It was Madam Mayhem there that she managed to elude so skillfully. And Madam Mayhem doing her level best trying to get in the way. Well, Mad Melorina, absolutely no room to work with on the outside there, but somehow manages to get through. Doesn't even try to go back to the inside. Backs herself, picks up the 5 points again on that pass. Jewel Breaker having a really hard time this jam. She looks exhausted. It's only the start of the second half. Yeah, but she pulls up her pants and gets back into it. So, it's all credit to her for not giving up. As I said at the start of the game, these Townsvillians won't lie down in this game. They are full of beans, and they'll go right to the last whistle. Absolutely. Well, Messiah taking a trip to the penalty box as Mad Melorina looks to score another 5 on this pass. Goes for the apex jump, doesn't pull it off. Do we count that to the tally or not? To be fair, even though I would like to have the doesn't come up, I think we'll have to count it as an unsuccessful attempt. So an attempted apex jump on that occasion, not counting towards the tally, but doesn't matter to Mad Melorina. She picks up the 5 points. And certainly I would have hated to have had D Delicious come through and connect with the block like that. That was a big attempt there. Mad Mel Arena, ladies and gentlemen. She's giving a clinic. That's really what it is. She is just showing how
the elite teams really pull it off, and how these elite skaters, and it's like you said, it's fair to say that she's one of the premier skaters in Australia.
Well, Giles jamming here for Victoria.
Up against Brittany's spear tackle, so certainly, and the the Townsvillians really giving her a go, trying to encourage her to do her best as she tries to get through the Victorian wall.
Well, Brittany spear tackle, formerly of Southside Derby Dolls, my home league, so getting some good support there from the Southside girls as well as the Townsvillians.
Excellent.
And Brittany's spear tackle is through to the delight of the crowd here. Well, I think we might see Brittany spear tackle doing a bit more jamming in this game now. And plays it up to the crowd as well. Good work, BST.
Absolutely.
Giles, though, was lead jammer, picks up the points again, inevitably, as it seems, this game for VRDL.
But it's great to see some other things being tried. That was Brittany spear tackle's first jam. We've got Smash Dance coming out. She hasn't done too many jams either. So they're still switching it around. They're still trying different things to try and break things open. And with two of the blockers, Skate Bush and also Smash and Pop on the bench for VRDL, there's a chance.
Well, shut down, though, by Anaconda. She picks up lead jammer again.
And has to come back to the rear again.
Smash Dance forced to the back of the pack.
Bit of a smile on her face, though, when she realised that she had to go back a few feet.
Good awareness, though, not picking up the penalty for the track cut.
No, well, at this point, it'd be fair to say you don't want to pick up a penalty if you're a jammer for the opposition at this time.
And Anaconda gets through, picks up another 5 and calls off the jam.
And we've got Mad Melorina coming back out. Up against
Messiah there.
Messiah, yeah, that's right. And we have a timeout being called here by the Townsvillians by the looks of things. Or perhaps not. We'll see how this works. A couple of the referees having a chat as well. Just the middle there, just getting a few things straight.
Well, it looks like we're ready to get underway again.
Almost. The Townsvillian benchy is having a chat with one of the head refs here.
Always love at a tournament like this, seeing some of the names that I haven't seen before. The number 42 there for the Townsvillians, the full Bronte. Quite a good one, I'd say.
Absolutely, and one of the refs in front of us has been he was Sin Bin Laden as well. So some of the names are just brilliant.
Yeah, I do, of course, our head ref out there, Rowan DeBoat, is one of my favourite all-time names in roller derby. Well, Mad Melorina not quite getting through as easily this time, but wow, how did she stay in? Well, she doesn't in the end, but still did enough to pick up lead jammer.
Oh, that's just lovely. That's just lovely.
And Messiah forced to go a long way back there. Mad Melorina takes advantage and once again picks up the 5 points on that pass.
Yep, dodges and weaves her way through.
Well, Messiah coming up against that strong Victorian wall again, unable to get through, trying to push them up with all her might. All she does, though, is open up the gap for Mad Melorina to go through without even so much as a pirouette that time.
Not even so much as a how you doing there. Bianca Scararita doing the big blocking there for Victoria as
see that time
Messiah's back.
Yeah, Calamity Mame on that occasion, on that subsequent pass doing the job for Mad Melorina. Unusual to see an assist in this game, but we just saw one there.
And quite a messy pack at the moment. Not much togetherness for either team.
Mad Millerina, though, stays calm, stays poised, takes it easy on that pass, and still picks up the 5 points. Oh, Calamity Mame there. Off to the penalty box for direction of gameplay penalty. Blocking while skating clockwise there.
That's right.
As we see, Messiah is out of the pack, and Mad Millerina, well, that's just cruel, really. I mean, and she's...
They, like you said, they're not going to show any favoritism. They're not going to show any mercy. They're just going to come down and they're going to do what it takes to get the win and play at the top of their game.
And see, even after that jam had ended, Mad Millerina making sure the referee picked up the right amount of points there. And I guarantee if he had not, we would have seen an official review. Oh, big tricks. Skiddo on the jam line here for the Townsvillians. And that'll be up against Giles.
One of the familiar faces, and certainly just has managed to dance away to the front quite easily.
Oh, Giles through again. Big trick, Skiddo. Unable to get through at this stage.
But certainly looking at someone like, we haven't talked about Helen Killer too much. She's just been doing a lot of blocking there. You could see her on the outside there, just shoring up her wall, trying to do the best just to keep her other blockers in line.
Yeah, lots of communication there. Well, there's an apex jump. Doesn't count to Mad Millerina's tally, but does count to the game tally. Oh, no, it's a track cut. Unsuccessful apex jump.
I tell you.
Must have landed with a wheel out there.
And we have a power jam to Townsville.
And you won't see this on the camera, but Giles is distraught in the penalty box.
Yep.
Absolutely dirty with herself about picking up that penalty there.
Maybe they've had a bit of a team meeting as well. Maybe there's a bit of a drinking game involved with this. How many penalties do you get? And certainly the Victorian blocks have done a sterling job. Only 3 of them, and Giles has just come out after serving her time and has come through and just easily picked up another 5. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
And picks up the 5 exactly where she picked up the penalty too, so she'll be happy about that. Jumps over her opposing jammer there. Easy as you like. Carries on with business. Nothing ever happened.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Don't mention the penalty.
Oh,
goes for another apex jump. Unsuccessful again. Goes down though, so she won't get a track cut there.
I do appreciate Giles's efforts to try and get up to the even dozen there. But Helen Killer has managed to pick up a penalty at the end there. Has come and she'll have to sit out 30 seconds of the next bout, the next jam. And Perky Nana is also in there for the Victorians.
And Giles, as she was skating off, still shaking her head, unhappy about picking up that penalty.
Thankfully, it didn't cost her team anything.
No, absolute professionalism, though, from VRDL. That has gotten to the top in this country.
They are certainly the team to beat, and they're certainly staking a claim on the trophy. While we're here, we also maybe should just say thank you to our main sponsors, the Wayville Showgrounds. They're our platinum sponsors, and certainly this beautiful tournament couldn't happen every couple of years without the help of Wayville Showgrounds to make it all happen. So the Adelaide Showgrounds here are a fantastic venue. They're used here, of course, every September for the Royal Adelaide Show. But we're very, very happy to have them on board as one of our main sponsors. Also, we have Rod Train. They're one of our main sponsors. You may see in the background a large truck behind the crowd. They have supplied this truck to us and put a huge screen on. So that we're very grateful to them as well for helping us out this year. And
well, that's Anaconda back. The familiar,
back in the familiar front.
Arm pointing at her from the jam ref once again.
that poor VRDL jam ref is certainly feeling the harm today.
It's a good thing they swap at half-time. Kimikaze gets through. And once again, we see jammer on jammer action. And VRDL ruthless again. Kimikaze, though, back up, skating hard, looking to get round that track and shut down these points from Victoria.
Once again, it's the small victories here to get through the VRDL wall is a big deal.
Well, that's probably the closest that Townsville have come to scoring points.
And the girls are on their feet. They're all ready to give her the the big greeting as she comes back in. It is the small victories, guys, and the Townsvillians are pumped that they've managed to defeat the wall.
What I love, the score right now, it's 348-0 with 9 minutes left in the game. Townsville with huge smiles on their faces. It's great to see. They're really having a ball out there, just taking in this experience, playing the best in the country and learning as much as they can from it.
Absolutely. While the timeout is called, we'd just like to give a quick shout out to our friends from BSS, Light Audio Visual. We couldn't be here talking to you right now if it wasn't for them. They have helped put together not only the live PA for all our announcers here, but also the supplied all the equipment and the training and so forth to get us on the internet and doing the streaming for you today. We're very grateful to BSS for that.
And also a big thank you to Rydell Skates. Rydell Skates, unmatched quality, unmatched performance. Great supporter of roller derby, and they've been around since 1945, Rydell Skates, so they really do know what they're doing.
I should hope so by now.
Took them a while to perfect it, but they got there eventually.
Absolutely.
Toxic Bacteria jamming here for the Townsvillians. Mad Mel Arena once again for VRDL.
And once again, that familiar pattern emerging where the poor Townsvillian jammer's at the back and Mad Melorina is just showing why she is such a great jammer.
Well, puts on the pace that time up the inside and does it beautifully. She knew she could beat them round that middle part of the track.
Ooh,
Jigs and
shimmy, shimmy, shake.
It's just incredible to watch sometimes. Meanwhile, Toxic Bacteria still pushing, trying to get a way through here.
And the Victorians employing not just a simple, just sort of straight line wall, they're adding layers to it, so this makes it really, really hard for the jammer to push through.
Well, Smash Dance doing a great job on that pass, really holding up Mad Melorina, getting her out of play, forcing her to the back. Mad Melorina, though, gets through. Beautiful shot there.
Once again, it's the small victories. If you get Mad Melorina on the floor, you've achieved something. The poise and balance of this athlete is incredible to watch. Oh, once again, just like a ferret covered in olive oil. It's just extraordinary to watch.
I really hope Mad Melorina watches this feedback and hears you describe her as a ferret covered in olive oil. One of your best. Sometimes you just got to let things slide.
Is that strike one? I guess I'll find out from Mad Melorina sometime tomorrow. They ran out of time on that one, letting it go the full minutes. And once again, Mad Melorina letting the referee know exactly how many points she scored. Thankfully, the ref agreed.
Well, we're seeing a timeout here.
If you're thinking of coming down to Wavell, if you're watching from Adelaide and you think you're coming down to Wavell, there are some great food trucks out the front here. So we're very grateful for them to come along and some great vegetarian delights, but also something for the omnivores and carnivores amongst us as well. And a lot of of the sponsors that we've mentioned here on this cast also have shops here as well. So if you're thinking of picking up some clothing or skates, then certainly you're very welcome to come down and enjoy it. The day passes are only $20 here.
Great value, some great entertainment. There's some challenge bouts as well as the main draw bouts, which are always great entertainment.
The challenge bouts have been awesome. One of the Adelaide teams have gone the full bogan for their challenge bout. The flannies, the intriguing naming of the skaters, but some amazing costumes that are coming out for the challenge bouts.
Yeah, and they'll be taking on the Ziggy Stardusters, and all glammed up in face paint and glitter. So
and every skater's named themselves after David Bowie in some fashion.
Well, I did notice a skater earlier whose skater name is Bowie, so I'm hoping she's skating in that challenge bout.
Absolutely.
It would be wrong if she didn't.
But yeah, some of them have been pretty good. One of the skaters I know, her actual real life name is Gina, so she's of course Gina for this one. So it's been a lot of fun coming up with new names, and certainly some of the signs as well. You may have seen occasionally through the camera. Some people holding up signs. Some of them are a little risque for the wider audience, but certainly a lot of great punning, a lot of great wit being displayed by the various spectators and supporters here today. Still waiting for the official timeout. The refs are still having a bit of a chat.
Yeah, it is an official review at the moment. Looks like we're going to get a resolution here.
And it looks like a challenge was unsuccessful, so we'll never know what it was. Not that it really matters at this point.
Well, we're going to see Brittany spear tackle.
Oh, here we go.
On the jam line here for the Townsvillians up against Giles. Let's see what happens. The crowd will go wild if she can manage to get lead jammer somehow here. No, unsuccessful there. Giles does the business again. Brittany spear tackle though. Look at that determination.
She is really doing a level best to get through.
Absolutely.
Oh, is she going again? Oh, no, she has met the floor.
Well, great strength and determination. And gets the better in terms of...
And she's through.
She is through. Multiplayer block called on the Victorian skater. I think that's Calamity Mame.
And no chance to pick up any points, but certainly the crowd enjoyed.
Smash and Pop, in fact, called for the multiplayer block.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope BST gets the jammer star once again in this half.
And D-Delicious, the tall jammer now coming out for the Townsvillians up against Anaconda with the welding mask on. D-Delicious certainly using her strength and power up against number 4 there for them, the Calamity Mame.
And it's going to be a track cut here on D-Delicious, though. She didn't manage to retire far enough. Came back onto the track, and she's gone for a track cut. Power jam for Victorian Roller Derby League.
And about to get their full complement of skaters back on with Smash and Pop having served her time.
Still Townsvillians yelling from the bench, yelling instructions out there to their skaters. Still so enthusiastic. Great to see.
Well, there's such a great community vibe going on here, Mike, man. It's a lot of the other teams are watching this bout at the moment, lending their support, lending their cheers. A lot of interaction going on between the various teams and the players as well, so it's great to see.
Yeah.
Just a great community vibe here.
Absolutely. That's one of the best things about the Great Southern Slam, and it's been the case in the previous two as well. Just so many teams and skaters from all around the country and New Zealand, of course, coming together.
Absolutely.
All for one purpose, and really with just such a great attitude and trying to promote our sport.
And certainly the future of roller derby is looking fantastic as it continues to grow. We were talking before about Adelaide. The 3 leagues here are expanding at this point. where you're from, I guess the same thing's going on.
Yeah, new leagues popping up all over the place. New skaters coming in, you know, turning skaters away in a lot of leagues because they just don't have the capacity to train them. So the sport is growing still, and it's great to see.
Dynamite cleaning up Anaconda as they were exchanging to get back on the track.
Lucky if they're from the same team there, otherwise someone was going to end up in the penalty box.
Yeah, Dynamite might have come off the worst as well. Anaconda's been a splendid performer for the Victorian Roller Derby League.
Well, Madam Mayhem jamming here for the Townsvillians. Is this her first jam?
I do believe so. I don't think I've seen her up there. So, once again, Townsville just continuing to try and change it up.
But Mad Melorina, as ever, is your lead jammer, and Madam Mayhem is off to the penalty box.
Chuck just too fast on getting back, and Madam Mayhem not getting back in the right sort of way.
That's right, picking up the track cut there. Mad Melorina does her usual pirouette. It's become a bit of a... it's become a bit boring now, really, isn't it? Once every 2 laps, she's going to do a pirouette. I mean, there's another one.
There's another one. Maybe I should have taken a bet on the number of pirouettes being done here.
She does anymore. She may actually get dizzy out there doing so many pirouettes.
Maybe this is the best that the Townsvillians can hope for, but they are putting up a good fight here. Got a solid wall and getting a lot of encouragement from from the crowd as well. Poor old number 7, Jewel Breaker.
Oh! Mad Melorina off to the penalty box, blocking with the head. You don't see that penalty very often.
Not too often at all, no.
Mad Melorina, the second jammer from Victoria to go to the penalty box.
But it is going to be short-lived because here comes number 27.
Madam Mayhem cuts the track off to the penalty box. That releases Mad Melorina. So Madam Mayhem won't spend too long in there, though.
Not too long, but it's still sad that they couldn't take advantage of the opportunity for a power jam. But the Townsvillian blockers once again get Mad Melorina off to the side. She has to come back, has to try again. And I'm glad she did. That was a beautiful spin move. And she gives a thumbs up to her team as she comes around.
Well, Madam Mayhem thought she saw a gap there, but unfortunately that gap wasn't part of the track. Cuts the track off to the penalty box again.
A little bit too fine there, and off she went.
Well, that jam goes the full 2 minutes and comes to an end.
So we've got time for another jam here. The game clock is down to under 1 minute and 20. Now, just if you're not aware of the rules here, the jam clock does supersede the game clock at this point. So even though we're saying that this is probably going to be the last jam, there's always time for one more.
Quite possibly. And if this one is called by Giles, after I'm assuming she's going to pick up lead jammer and there's 30 seconds left on the clock, well, we could see another one. But I believe this is likely to be the last jam.
And the crowd had just been chanting, get some points, get some points. The Townsvillians are hoping that this is not a clean sweep against them.
Well, Chuck opening up the middle there for Giles beautifully, and Giles takes advantage, picks up the points. Giles running into her own skater there.
And then running into a couple of the Townsvillians as well. They're still not making it easy. They've never given up the whole bout, and we've got to take our hats off to the Townsvillians. They have worked so hard, and they have tried every single trick in the book.
Well, Giles there just walks around the pack on that occasion. Does it easy once again. Madam Mayhem now back out on the track. Just 5 seconds of the period clock left. That will confirm this will be the last jam. Period clock has now finished. 1 minute left in this jam.
Melodrama just keeping the floor clean.
Giles picking up another 5.
And the Townsvillian blockers are a little not forming a tight pack at this point. They've done the job, just held up Giles for a few more seconds, and Chuck also coming back. And 0-1-0 has been called for the big block to the back.
Yeah, big trick Skidoo there, copping it from Giles.
She didn't quite know where she was for a couple of seconds there. And We have points.
No, not points yet. That is the initial pass.
The initial
Looking
pass.
for points here, though.
Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
Oh, she's got to have got past some hips there, surely. There's a point. There's 2 points.
Oh, there's got to be
She
points
doesn't care.
there.
That's enough.
She's got a smile on her face. She's getting up on her skates.
She just got those hips
And that's
out
the end of it.
and got
Did we
them
get any?
past. There's
Yes!
3 points.
Yes!
Well, I'll
Points!
take it. That is like a victory
Yes!
for Townsville right now. 3 points on the death. You would have thought ties were scored there. Scores were tied. Sorry. I'm so excited. I can't even speak anymore. Wow, what a last jam we just saw.
We are seeing a standing ovation from the crowd. The Townsvillians are piling into the middle of the track, congratulating Madam Mayhem on getting some points here today. It's been a rough old game for the Townsvillians, but you got to look at them. Look at them. They are all smiling. They're all high-fiving.
Smiling.
There are hugs everywhere.
Melodrama actually has tears in her eyes right now. She's so proud of what they've just achieved. What an absolutely great effort. They didn't give up. They put in so much effort all through the game. And to get those points on the death is just the icing on the cake for them.
We often talk about how it comes down to the last jam. That last one that you saw with Sydney and Perth, it came down to the last jam. It came down to the last jam here.
Absolutely
just in
did.
Such a different way. But once again, even though there always are winners and losers, you've got to be very happy for the Townsvillians. They are just giving each other the high fives, the team support, and the love that comes from having achieved something that you never thought you could do.
Absolutely right. As we see some great love from the teams here. Mad Melorino, huge smile on her face, and just congratulating these Townsville skaters on a great effort all through this game.
And it's not just the high fives. There's a bit of huggy going on there as well. Just while we're here, just a quick update on Swish Kaboom. She is not using her right arm at all. She's got a big smile on her face, but she's not using that right arm. So Victoria Roller Derby have picked up a couple of injuries so far.
Yeah, that's right. They have. And, well, last Great Southern Slam, Victorian Roller Derby only came with 14 skaters. I believe they've got a few more this time in reserve. So I think they've come with 18 this time. But or 20 in fact.
Not such a bad idea given the attrition rate so far.
Yeah, that's right. So great effort, big cheer for Townsvillians.
I hope you can hear this through the mic. Just the big love for the Townsvillians from the crowd, from Victoria Roller Derby.
Well, what an absolutely thrilling bout to call. Big thank you, Pants. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure too, mate, man.
And stay tuned. We'll be back with the next game in probably about
another 20 minutes or so.
Another 20 minutes time.